Hi everybody. So we are starting this panel about blockchain with some really good pioneers and disruptors in the new technology space. My name is Stefania, and I would like to start with a quick introduction of all our panelists. Managing Director of Awepay, right? Is that correct, Casey?
Awepay.
Awepay.
Yeah, it's short for awesome, I guess. So yeah, Awepay as a company, I started this company about 9 years ago. Personally, I've been in payments and finance for the last 15 years, primarily catering to merchants in the high risk to medium risk categories and throughout the whole world. So I think I came across Bitcoin in 2014, and upon reading the white paper, I realized that it's going to eventually become the future of payments. So what we provide to our merchants are like traditional Visa Mastercard payments, out payments predominantly in Asia. So we allow our merchants to accept deposits and perform withdrawals in Asia, as well as crypto now, realizing that this is a definite important development in payments. So I had to get into the space a couple of years ago.
Okay, thank you so much. You are doing with payments. Payments is one of the biggest industry that is up for disruption with blockchain. So do you maybe want to give an overall of how blockchain has disrupted the payment system, and also something important, make a difference between cryptocurrency and blockchain, even if it's something that people should know. I think, it would be good to kind of clarify where the two things stand.
Sure. So where do I start? So obviously, as a payments company, the first thing that we focus on is helping our merchants accept payments and perform withdrawals, and then of course the settlement part is the most important. Now, I've been in payments for 15 years, so the one trend that has been steadily very obvious to someone in international payments is that banking is getting harder and harder and harder and harder. The regulations, the compliance is just going to get more difficult as time goes by. So how crypto or blockchain is, how we are applying it to our clients is that we offer them the option of getting settlements in cryptocurrency, whether it's Bitcoin or USDT or something else that they prefer. So that is a real world situation that it's currently being used by many first tier and second tier merchants that we work with. Predominantly, we work with merchants in the gaming industry, the forex industry, and the cryptocurrency industry. And what we've seen and what I've seen is that there's no easier way in terms of sending money across from one side of the planet to the other. Using cryptocurrency or blockchain in comparison to the regular bank transfer. So what we have done as a payments company to add further value to our merchants is that we've provided a cryptocurrency exchange for them just for the purpose of settlements.
Okay, that's really interesting. So let's talk about the challenges that blockchain businesses are facing.
I think the main challenge still remains the same, is the talent. As Ricky mentioned, to people to adapt certain technology, there should be people who actually already use it, right? So the companies should create a drive for using something, same as Google or Facebook have done multiple times in the past with their different products, right? And then I think it's also about funding, right? So again, with this negative marketing buzz, it's very challenging to get the companies up and running if you don't have any money. And on the mass adoption scale, I think again, it is not only regulation but also from a marketing side, right? So yeah. Facebook and crypto and Google just don't really allow crypto ads, right? And that is actually preventing mass adoption, in my opinion. So, and the challenge for companies like Trade Street, I assume, against, let's say, eToro, is that eToro is mostly classic effects that went into crypto. So they're able to use all advertising tools available out there, right? Programmatic advertising, display, search on Facebook, on Google, while crypto companies, they don't have that luxury. And that is a huge issue. I understand that there are risks allowing, certain companies to advertise crypto because of scams and things like that. But in my opinion, the marketing technology sector should actually help drive adoption, and that's going to drive retail usage for sure. Because if people see ads, if people can read more, if they can watch videos on YouTube about crypto, demystifying them, certain aspects, that is definitely going to help for sure. In my opinion, there's always going to be a risk of scammy projects for sure, and it's just a risk that we have to take. Probably we could compare it to the pandemic that is happening now, right? So somebody's going to get sick anyway, right? But we just need to somehow contain the information, because some people are going to get scammed anyway, because we've seen scams in forex and binary option industries years ago, right? But then the industry matured, and then now you don't really have that many scandals going on. So in my opinion, just a bit of a leap of faith from everyone, both companies, like massive ad tech providers, and also just general public. Yeah.
Okay.
Can I say
Thank
real
you.
quick?
Yeah, go on. I was gonna come to you anyway. Go on.
Thanks,
Okay.
Slava. Just on the topic of eToro, they do have crypto in their portfolio for forex as well, but they just depending on regions where they operate, it's offered or not offered to their users. So the thing about eToro is they are a big advertiser on platforms like
Exactly.
Facebook and YouTube. So they're a big business. So these are independent technocracy companies that it's all about money. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about money. So they decide who gets censored and who doesn't. Just want to say that.
I cannot comment on that, but stats show, yes. And to be honest, there are some companies besides Cointraffic that helping out, smaller crypto companies, and some of them actually do have the money. And as you mentioned, Casey, you also help high risk clients like gaming, for instance.
Yes.
Gaming is also sometimes perceived as not, I wouldn't say as an entertainment industry, how usually gaming companies say, right? You get entertained, and that's why you leave a certain margin, to the casino or to the whatever.
It's how they position themselves.
Yes, it's how they position themselves, right? And some people enjoy it. Some people, of course, again, have issues, have gambling problems, for instance. But I think same as with alcohol, government managed to introduce a regulation that protects the most vulnerable people, right? While allowing others who can, somehow control themselves, or are still unidentified people with problems who can still enjoy themselves. And that's probably something that we need, we need in crypto as well.
Totally agree.
Okay. Casey, maybe I wanted to ask you something about, the payment industry. I mean, what with the pandemic and how the big stimulus that we saw the government has put into economies, we are seeing that the value of money is globally eroding, right? So the government has got the opportunity the banks actually to print money, so there isn't a fixed supply. Money can be printed whatever, and then we have got the problem about that the money value is going to go down, and maybe the world is poised actually to be disrupted by a different system, a system that is using digital money and is implementing blockchain and is using different kind of payment. They are also tackling another point, they are giving financial inclusion and banking the unbanked, because as you know better than me, having a mobile phone, you can, and the right app, you can send money to somebody else without having a bank account.
Absolutely.
And that is probably what is there to help the world to change, in order to disrupt for the better, because we are not talking about only the rich getting richer. We are trying to see a better world where everybody has got equal opportunities. So up to you. Tell us, how do you see this?
Okay, so basically, just back on payments, because my background is mainly in payments and finance. One of the biggest challenges introducing any new type of payment or new technology in payments is buyer behavior, because we're all people of habits, right? So, for example, now something that's taken that people have been starting to adopt is PayWave and PayPass. This is technology from 20 years ago. Visa and MasterCard have been putting in millions and millions of dollars of marketing to get people to change their behavior of payment. So it's a very big hurdle to cross over, to try to change us humans as habitual animals in terms of how we pay, from cash to like using your card, and then from card to using something in the blockchain that most people out there still they still do not comprehend what exactly is blockchain, what exactly is cryptocurrency. So there is a big hurdle to cross over for mass adoption. But what you say is true, Stefania. With the recent COVID-19 and many countries doing massive stimulus packages, they're printing a lot of money, pumping it into the economy. What's going to happen is you find that most of these countries, the production level never increased. In fact, the production level dropped. So you got lots more money is circulating in the economy, going after much less products and services that are in the market. So you're going to find possibly an inflation type of situation coming, and perhaps, hopefully, people will be able to protect the value of their money by going into alternative types of storage of value, like Bitcoin or even gold, for example. Because usually when the government, when the central bank prints more money, is the people who have savings, the ones who are holding a lot of money, they're the ones who suffer, because the value of the cash that they hold, whether it's in the bank or under the mattress, those are the ones that drop in value a lot.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully we are going to all head into that direction. Casey, what do you see being the situation in Asia? I mean, do you see maybe the government, the big institution, taking a little bit more a proactive approach into that, or you think it's something that is going to be led by the startup and entrepreneurs?
Sorry, you were breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, I just ask, how do you see the situation in Asia? Do you see there are the big institution, the government, that is kind of embracing the blockchain revolution, or you think it's still down to small projects, startup, they are kind of pushing their way out there?
Well, I think personally, my opinion is that Asians are more in terms of Asia's a big continent.
Yeah, obviously.
Countries here, but they are faster to adopt, depending on which countries you're talking about. But I kind of want to add up on top of what Ricky just said in terms of blockchain and in terms of, let's say, cryptocurrency as a currency, right? In terms of blockchain, there are banks already using blockchain. If I'm not mistaken, there are about 118 banks on RippleNet. They're using this for remittance purposes. Obviously, it's not a token; it's just for reconciliation purposes. So the blockchain technology is already being adopted by banks and governments as well, depending where you are. Like I heard a lot of things about Estonia. They're just adopting all kinds of new tech over there. So, but yeah, they will adopt the technology. But when it comes to, let's say, cryptocurrency as a currency, that's a different story, because money has a lot of politics tied to it. There's if you look at money and the history of money, there's always been as control, almost a control mechanism for governments. There's no way, in my opinion, there's no way any governments would allow a form of currency to be adopted in a country that they cannot control.
Exactly.
So that is the dilemma. But of course, if everyone were to adopt Bitcoin and stop using whichever fiat currency they're in, that fiat currency it's gone, right? It would disappear. But so yeah, governments, they definitely are afraid of it's people using cryptocurrency because they have no control over it. They will have policies and regulations to try to control it, but there's only so much they can do. Because traditionally, when it comes to technology and regulations, it's usually technology will get there first, and regulations try to catch up.
Yeah. On that
now,
point, Casey, what about emerging market? Because emerging market is where the traditional institution, they have less power because is there less established, there is more corruption, and so there is kind of like more freedom and for this country to leapfrog using technology.
Absolutely. But there's also still a lot of politics in play. So let's say, for example, near to Malaysia, where I am, as Cambodia, they have their own Cambodian dollars. I can't remember what's it called, but predominantly people use US dollars over there. So, like for example, China is coming up with their own cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
Which will be, I guess, to replace the CNY. They will most likely replace cash because you hardly see cash in China nowadays. But apart from that, I don't really see any other country like just giving up their sovereign, monetary system for cryptocurrency.
Especially in the European market, crypto as a value, as a method of payment, or any kind of transaction between the parties, should establish a new community way between the speculators and supporters. We have still division between supporters of a new technology, in this case blockchain and distributed ledger, and the speculators that still not believe in the blockchain and the implementation of new way decentralized systems. No matter how much we will talk about the immutability, transparency, against abusing thefts, and so on and so on. There is still a gap between knowledge and implementation. We have to share knowledge.
Dean, on that point, I just would like Slava, and then Casey quickly to add something about education. Maybe Casey, you want to be quick? Just
a quick one. Just a quick one. Dean, I couldn't agree more with what you just said. But in the age that we're living in right now, there's so much misinformation, disinformation, and fake news. I hope blockchain can provide a solution to stop all this so that the knowledge can be shared and it's not diluted.
Casey, do you have anything to add, Ricky?
Well, I think the market will always find a way, blockchain or no blockchain. So regardless, for me, it's gonna be like 5 or 6 anyways, because the market will find a way eventually.
Thank you so much for everybody. We are almost done, and really was a really good panel. And then let's see how things are evolving, and surely the blockchain and also cryptocurrency are going to play a big part in today's world for sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Pleasure, guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.